From the creators of Relevant Magazine, this is the Relevant Podcast.
Like a spell, you are under 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 like a spell.
It's Friday, March 27th. The year is 2020. You're listening to the Relevant Podcast. I'm your host, Tyler Huckabee. I'm coming at you from Nashville, Tennessee. Meanwhile, down there in Florida, he is partying on spring break right now. He took a little time away. He's got.
Yeah, we're going wild down here.
You may have seen him chicken fighting on the sands of Daytona Beach.
His portable podcast studio is right up there on Miami Beach. It's our friend, our illustrious producer, Chandler String.
Hello.
Meanwhile, up there in Loveland, Virginia, he just has not been invited anywhere. He doesn't even know there's a quarantine right now. Just nobody's asked him out. It's our friend Jesse Carey.
Hello, hello.
And coming to us from the West Coast, we're getting the West Coast
That's
updates on how things go out there in self-isolation in California. It's our friend Propaganda. Hey, Prop.
What's up? I got no shows until June. I mean, till August. That's what I meant to say.
Oh man, how did the fans take the announcement?
Yeah, I mean, because that's unexpected. I mean, I felt immediately. I mean, I was watching basketball as a lot of people were the night that it all kind of went down and they cleared out the courts. But my thoughts immediately went to artists who, because when I saw fans clearing out of a basketball arena, obviously they can't go to a concert halls. Prop, dude, what's it been like having to be in your industry?
Yo,
man?
it's like I have my friend Lyric Jones, who I follow. She was like, it's like Instagram has become South by Southwest. Where it's just a bunch of different venues on it all the time. But it forced us to be mad creative. There was definitely like the oh crap moment where you kind of panic when you're watching your calendar just empty out. Like I butchered the joke, but I was trying to say that like, I'm home till July anyway. You know what I'm saying? So there's definitely the panic, but then there's the part of me that just like personally that just remembers being, struggle rapper, like eating, fried bologna sandwiches with bologna I borrowed from my neighbor. You know what I'm saying? That like, that where you have to get creative and you have to like get up and work because if you don't work, you don't eat. You know what I'm saying? So like, it kind of sparked that for me.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you've been able to? Because I feel like personally. For me a little bit, but also for so many people I've seen, self-quarantine has bred some pretty wild creativity that like teeters. It's on the brink between like insanity and genius, where they're creating these TikToks that are like, you did this in 15 days. Imagine what you could do with a budget and a little bit of dedication. It's
Props, Prop's got his own new show now, Porgami Fridays. I mean, literally.
He invented a coffee show.
He's literally, okay, Prop, because here's the thing, man. You are staying somewhat busy. You still have the Red Couch going. Your phenomenal podcast that you do with your wife, Alma, and a rotating friends and things like that. But tell me, all right, Porgami Fridays. All right, so me and you went to Montana last year with our friend Brian from the company Mir, who makes these incredible, like high-end hydration products, right?
Yes.
They're like, it's just like Yeti, but not as bro-y. It's like he would probably hate that I like even brought the name Yeti into it. But they do like cool stuff that like a little insulated like wine thing. They look way better in your cabinets than like a giant clunky, steel cylinder. Mm-hmm. Like they have this cool matte finish, but they have this thing called a porigami, which is this. It's called porigami because like a piece of origami, it's made of tiny flat matte pieces of metal that folds up. You can put it in your back pocket, but you can unfold it, put it on top of a coffee mug, put a filter in there, and do pour over. So that's where the porigami element comes. Tell me what is, for people that haven't checked it out yet, what is Porigami Fridays?
Yeah, so Porigami Fridays is an Instagram live where I'm going to do different little home brew methods, like hacks, kind of the stuff that I do, just crack jokes while I'm talking or while I'm doing it. And we're going to feature, again, different Mir products, the Porigami itself, which you can, get a personalized one from my website. But also we're going to rotate and feature coffee roasters that I'm enjoying that have partnered with me. I'm going to send out some like discount codes. Since you can't go to no shop anyway, you need to learn how to roast your stuff at home or brew your stuff at home. And you got to still sip well. There's no reason the quality of coffee that you're consuming should change at this moment when all these roasters will mail this stuff to your house, right?
That's
and we're
right.
Gonna actually, and we're going to talk to the roasters and let them talk about sort of like, you know, what their beans are all about, who they work with. And it's going to be real fun. I mean, it's super nerdy, but at the same time, I always get these texts like, Prop, I'm in LA. Where should I go get coffee? I'm like, first of all, that's like we're the second largest city in America. So, I mean, where in LA? Like, I mean, help me. You understand what I'm saying? Or, hey, I went to Seattle. Where should I drink coffee? I'm like, you in the craft coffee capital of the world? Like anywhere, right? So now I'm able to be like, okay, listen, here's what I drink. Here's why I like it. Here are these people. So that's Friday mornings, 9 a.m. Pacific time. Just talk to me and Mir and coffee roasters.
Well, listen, Prop, I'm going to offer my services. I have a special blend and I support the coffee brewers out there, the people that are working to elevate the craft. Yeah. I'm talking my special blend, 1 scoop of Dunkin', 1 scoop of Folgers, top it off with some chock full of nuts. You know, that's the working man's brew. That's a blue collar coffee
blend.
Right there.
It's a good blend, man.
Self-quarantine is breeding a lot of really creative, innovative, in this case, cooking, I guess you'd call it, roasting. That's cool, Jesse. I'm excited to.
It's a great brew method. Not mad at you at all.
Prop, the other thing I want to talk, I feel like I feel like the elephant in the room here is like every time we've done one of these podcasts under quarantine, do you guys struggle with this too? Obviously, this is a very serious situation, this global pandemic. A lot of people are suffering. And we, all three of us, I'm sure, all three of us are practicing self-isolation, or 4 of us, Chandler, are practicing self-isolation.
Totally.
And we're social distancing. And, so we want to reiterate how important this is. But do you ever like, when you get on and you're doing the Poor Gami Fridays, you're doing Red Couch, you're doing a pod like this, are you just like, listen, let's just establish that. But people need to laugh and joke around a little.
Totally.
Do you find that hard, or are you like, dude, let's just lean into it and have some fun?
There's something that like your listeners, I mean, I hope you got more than 4 black people that listen. But the thing is about Black America is that's how we cope with trauma. That's why Black Twitter is so funny.
The best Twitter.
We Black Twitter is like that because we cope with trauma through humor, right? Yeah. So it's not like we're not taking it serious. We're taking it very serious. It's just like slavery was. It was very serious, but we still crack jokes about it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We crack jokes about being poor. We crack jokes about all this stuff, but it's because that's how we deal with trauma. So I don't mind making jokes. As a matter of fact, that's an important part, as far as I'm concerned, as far as my culture, to experiencing this, right? And even making fun of people that not taking it serious, like, is a way that rather than like yelling and screaming like you're putting people's lives in danger by leaving your house, is us by cracking jokes about it and saying, but no, seriously, stay home. Right. I had this, I went into like this whole diatribe with my father, Vietnam War vet, civil rights vet, Black Panther, you know what I'm saying? In his 70s, like, son, I'm covered in the blood. Son, I lived through a war. I lived through Jim Crow. I'm fine. You know what I'm saying? And just the typical, and this is the first time in my life I ever yelled at my father. I've never in my life yelled at him, you know what I'm saying? Or cussed at him, ever. My dad's a G, you know what I'm saying? Like, you just don't talk to him like that. This is the first time in my life I did, right? And one of the arguments I was having with him, and I was like, okay, yeah, you covered in the blood, but I mean, do you wear seatbelts? Like, when you drive, do you wear a seatbelt? Like, I thought you was covered in the blood, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So just this like, and I was joking, but dead serious. And he laughed, and it was like, all right, son, touche. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I do wear seatbelts. I'm like, yeah, you lock the door when you go home? Because
COVID doesn't know you went to Vietnam. COVID doesn't know or care.
COVID don't care at all. You know what I'm saying? That boy Lecrae was like, Lecrae, we cracking jokes. He was like, man, I had to tell my family, well, go ahead on outside. You lived through the civil rights. You finna really march with Dr. King. Right now, you about to march with Dr. King. I was like,
into glory.
In the great beyond. Yeah, I think it was Kirsten Powers, our good friend, who I saw on Twitter say it was something along the lines. I'm going to butcher her delivery, but she was talking about the frustrations that she had telling her mother, who I believe she said in the tweet was like in her 80s, that she, hey, you can't go out, you can't keep just popping in like the neighborhood bodega, whatever. It's not like that right now. And she was like, my mom is putting me through the stress that I put my mom through when I was a teenager. Yes. And it's like, okay, that's what all, like, I feel like anyone who's like a millennial right now that has like parents that are a little bit older, it's like, Mom, Dad, did this what it feels like when I was at 16 and I blew off curfew and you were worried about me? Because I'm worried about everyone in my parents' generation. I'm like, guys, what are you doing?
What are you doing? Like, we hopping in the car, your homeboy 16 years old, drunk off some wine coolers, and we just swerving through at downtown LA. You know what I'm saying? And they like, son, not only are you gonna die, your friends gonna die, everybody on the road gonna die.
And that's what we're telling. That's what we're telling our parents. But we're not telling them about DUIs. We're telling them about, you can't just go and like walk down the aisle and right up on somebody. You can't. This isn't normal times. Use online ordering. Like this is introducing
tool available for you.
This is introducing a whole generation of like baby boomers to technology, like ordering groceries online or like Uber Eats or something.
And what's crazy is like, I'm finding like my mom, who's always kind of been ahead of the curve. Like my mom is like, fine. She FaceTimes with my daughter. I'll take a picture of like a coloring book page. I'll text it to her. She'll print it out on her side. They're coloring together. Like my mom is like ahead of the curve, knew what's up. I had to yell at my father. I just don't understand.
Do you think that's
how both of them? Yeah, go ahead.
No, well, do you think it's that generation? I feel like that was and I've seen a lot of people talking about this on social media. I have not experienced this with my own dad yet. But
he's in medicine.
My dad's a healthcare professional, so he's kind of like, so he's got a little bit of perspective on this. But a lot of people are there's that generation where masculinity is kind of tied to how much of a not big deal you can make about something. Like if you like the degree to which I assume everybody else is overreacting is my own. Like that's my masculinity. That's how I prove what a tough guy I am. It's that devil may care, kind of put on yourself, like the deal with it, sunglasses going down. Like, well, it's not going to come for me. It seems like that's a very boomer male mentality. Man.
It must be a survival mechanism. I've had to give that to my father of being like, well, I guess when you survive what you had to survive, you had to just believe you're invincible. If not, you're going to just,
I guess that's true,
crumple over and die. You know what I'm saying?
I do wonder too if the generational, because I've been in a scenario where everyone my age can look at what's happening and say this is a bad idea. Yes. Where it's the older men who's like, no, it'll be fine. Like one time, this is true. I had a friend who's like, hey man, I got invited to participate in this boxing thing. It's like for charity, and we're going there. It'll be fine. I wear headgear.
Boxing?
I wear headgear, and I'm boxing for charity. He was a former special forces guy in the military, jacked dude, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, all right. I mean, in my head, I'm like, this is fine, right? I mean, they're going to wear headgear. They're wearing big gloves. How bad could it be? And he's like, no, it'll be cool. So we go, and it's at this like rundown, like moose lodge. Okay. Like, I don't even know what moose lodges do. Right. I don't even know who hangs out there, but this night they were, and I was thinking like, okay, this is like a charity event. Obviously this is sanctioned, that someone is throwing this. And like, no, this was as sketch as it could be. And it was packed in there. Yeah. I mean, I guarantee you we were against fire code, but it was just one of those things. No one say anything. And my buddy is on, because he was like a, former military dude. He was like on the top card. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
But there was like 7 or 8 fights beforehand. And as soon as I walked in, I looked at the face of everyone that was in my friend group that came to support our buddy. It was like, this is a terrible idea, right? Someone's going to die tonight. Like, this is terrible. Like, there were dudes walking into the ring in jeans. They had like just gotten, like, some of these these cats were like, you could tell they just walked off a construction site, went in there and they started throwing just haymakers. Now I was thinking, no one here is a boxer. There's no one. I don't know if this person's ever boxed before. I mean, for the way he's punching, I don't even know if he's seen a boxing match. These guys are literally two large men just wildly throwing punches. Thankfully, most of them were in terrible shape. Yeah. And so they got gassed immediately.
30 seconds.
30 seconds. So they were too tired to hurt each other. But a couple guys started landing blows and you're looking at people and no one wants to be the one should we be here? Is this a great idea? I mean, I know this is for charity. Look, how much are you trying to raise? But if we just pitch in, we can do this.
Pitch in $20. We'll be fine.
And I'm not going to watch some dude in sweatpants and a tank top, suffer a catastrophic head injury here. Yeah. Everyone was looking, this is a bad idea. But it was the older dudes there that was no, it's fine. It's fine. Let's just keep boxing. And it was the most insane thing. I felt very uncomfortable, but very alive when I was there. I'm not going to lie. Felt very alive. I felt like everyone knew we shouldn't be there, but we were there. And I'm going to be honest, that was kind of cool. But it wasn't cool watching these out of shape dudes that I saw a guy eating a burrito 5 minutes before he stepped into a boxing ring.
Hey, I'm up. It's my turn. Okay. Yeah.
And he was drinking a beer too. These were not athletes, I don't know where the Moose Lodge found these guys. Yeah. I don't know where the Moose Lodge found these guys, but.
So this was it the sort of situation where you could have just walked hey, I want in on this. What do I have to do? Could you have thrown down?
No one would have said anything.
Okay,
if I would have just jumped into the ring when two other guys were boxing and just did an unheard of 3-man boxing match, I don't think anyone would have batted an eye. I'd just be all right, there's another dude in there punching people.
That's kind of cool.
It's one of those type of situations. So,
Lord. Yeah.
Well, hey, Prop, real quick, if people want to tune into Porgami Fridays, how can they do it?
Oh yeah, it's just right on my Instagram, just Prop Hip Hop. Just head on over there, 9 a.m. Pacific time.
No, I'll be there.
Yeah, dude.
Hey, Prop, you're not the only guest we got joining us today. In a little bit here, we're bringing on our friend David Kinnaman, president of the Barna Group. Hey. I was curious what David thought about what this what self-isolation, a little bit of time of quarantine is going to do for churches. Obviously, no one's going to church right now. Hopefully, none of you are going to church right now.
Yeah, please.
And I wanted to
covered in the blood.
And I wanted to get David's perspective on what this will mean for churches, and he had a lot of insights from his perspective. Barna obviously knows more about the church situation in America than just about anybody, so I appreciate his perspectives. That is going to be coming up. But first off, we're going to check out the hot list. That's after the break. You're listening to Jellyfish by Colin Royce. Beginning of the podcast, you heard Spell by Hot Chip. All right, time for our weekly look back at the top 5 stories of the intersection of faith and culture that cauterized this week. It's time for...
It's the hot list. The hot list. It's sizzling.
Okay, number 5 this week, Hailey Bieber, Mrs. Justin, and Miley Cyrus talked about Christianity and the church on Miley's Instagram story. Okay, so hey,
Prop, you need to get them. Hold on, real quick, Prop. You need to get Miley and Hailey Bieber on Porgami Fridays. They're willing to talk about faith. They're doing their own show with Miley.
Yeah,
I don't know their coffee.
I'll try to bring them in.
Coffee situation. But they
can school them.
They could talk about it.
Yeah.
So Hailey recently joined Miley Cyrus for an edition of her Instagram series Bright Minded, live with Miley. The two opened up about their thoughts about faith and Christianity. Hailey and her husband, Justin Bieber, have been open about the role that faith and church play in their lives and marriage. Her father, actor Stephen Baldwin, is also vocal about his faith and raised his daughter going to church. That's true. Hailey explained in this video, quote, I think there's a difference between being raised in church and being an adult and having your own relationship with God and Jesus and spirituality, because what my relationship was with faith, getting raised that way, is completely different than me and my own journey as an adult. I found a church community that works for me, where I feel supported and loved and accepted. Miley Cyrus also grew up in a religious family, though she says she, quote, fell off that path as she grew older, explaining, quote, I had a hard time finding a relationship with God that worked for me as an adult. Her father, Billy Ray Cyrus, has spoken openly about faith. He told CBN that his father was a Pentecostal preacher. Now, Miley identifies as pansexual and said that the way that she observes Christians treating her LGBTQ friends influenced her thoughts about faith and church. She said, quote, I had some gay friends in school. That's the reason why I left my church, is that they weren't being accepted. They were being sent to conversion therapies. I had a hard time with me finding my sexuality too. Bieber later said, quote, I believe that Jesus is about loving people no matter where they are in life. I've always had a hard time with church making people feel excluded and not accepted, and they can't be a part of it because of what they believe in and who they love. All right. So that's Haley and Miley's thoughts on Christianity and the church.
See, I saw a couple reactions when we posted this online, and people were like, oh, Haley Bieber or Miley Cyrus, why don't we just have them talk about rocket science too or that? And I was like, dude.
Oh, brother.
And that's what I like. We should be celebrating conversations about faith. It doesn't, especially when it's people of influence. I feel like a big problem that people have had with faith and faith conversations is it's one of those topics that was traditionally taboo, right? People said, oh, don't talk about faith and politics. People talk about politics all the time, right?
Yeah.
What's the more you can normalize conversations about faith, no matter what the outcome of those conversations are, I think it's a net win because it allows people to be comfortable, not just expressing their questions about Christianity, but Christians to express, concerns that they have about the way the church is and just being more authentic people. Prop, what's your take on Miley and Haley kind of using their platform to have this kind of a conversation?
Yeah, I think the thing that bothers me, start there, is just this like idea that you have to be a bona fide expert before you could talk about something that all of us are all experiencing and talking about. You know what I'm saying? Like they are talking about how they feel about their faith. None of these people, they not pastors. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. They just people just like us, right? And we do it all the time. We talk about stuff we're not experts about, right? Every human talks about stuff that we're not experts on, right? So it's just like, man, like, why can't they have feelings about stuff that every other human got feelings about? So I just think like I enjoy the fact that they fully evolved people, you know what I'm saying? And they're showing that they're fully developed humans and not just like avatars or characters. It's like, no, like I think about faith just like you think about faith. Here's what I think about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, dang, let them live, and
the people that throw shade, because it's not just Miley and Haley Bieber. You hear there's any celebrity that's talking about faith. Yeah. It could be someone like, Chris Pratt or, any of these celebrities that are openly talking about faith, or like the Tebow types.
I do think it's worse for young women. I do think that there's a misogynist streak about young like the fact that these are young, in Miley's case, especially pop stars, there's this idea that she must be an idiot.
And even sports, like stick to sports. You know what I'm saying? Dude. So like, I think that stuff only comes out when somebody talks about something you don't agree with.
Exactly.
If you just disagree with them, you like, oh, stick to your sport. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Look, dog, okay, just because you don't like what they saying, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So to
if
me,
you can't engage with what they're saying, and you have to go right for their identity, consider what that means about where you're coming from.
Yeah.
Take that as a red flag for.
Okay, so the next time you cook dinner for your children, I'm gonna be like, stick to accounting. Like, nah, fool. Like, we all do a lot of things,
and newsflash to anyone who's throwing shade at a celebrity or pop star, Miley Cyrus and Haley Bieber, I guarantee you, are more successful and more talented and, than any of their critics. Like, they didn't get to where they are on accident. They have massive platforms because they're incredibly talented people. And, the fact that they're normalizing faith conversation should be celebrated, like Christians shouldn't be able to monopolize conversations about Jesus. You know what I mean? Let other
that's
people.
the opposite of what we're going for.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think that the talking about how the fact that gay people feel excluded from the church, you can say they're not experts, but we're about to have a church expert on, David Kinnaman, who would say the exact same thing based on reams of research. So it's not like they're saying things that are ill-informed. This lines up with the reality. I think it's cool, and Miley and Haley, we would love to have you on sometimes.
That'd be rad.
Yeah,
bring me on that show.
We're on Poor Agape. We're on Poor Agape.
We got nothing else going on.
Yeah, right. I mean, they're sitting at home just like we are.
Yeah, exactly.
Number 4 this week. This is good. Jake Johnson is sending self-quarantined kids personalized voice messages from Spider-Man. Okay, so Jake Johnson is the former New Girl star. He's the voice of Peter Parker on Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. He is currently self-isolating and trying to figure out ways to pass the time and help other people through the coronavirus pandemic. And he's found a way to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. He's giving kids stuck at home a personalized, encouraging voice memo from Spider-Man himself. Johnson took to Instagram to say he heard a lot of parents are killing time with their kids by watching Into the Spider-Verse, and it inspired him to put his character role to good use. He said, quote, "If your child is home from school and wants a quick encouraging message from Peter Parker, then send me an email with their name and I'll try to send over a short voice note. If I don't get to you, I apologize. If you are a parent and you're interested, you can send an email to peterbparkersayshi@gmail.com. Pretty heartwarming.
For him.
Yeah, it's pretty heartwarming.
Good for him.
Now I'm not a parent. I don't have any, I can't put this to you. I would love a message from Peter Parker that would be encouraging, but I'm, integrity. I'm not going to.
There's nothing preventing you from, shooting your shot.
I'm not going to do it. I'm not, I'm not going to. I'm going to be better than that. Jesse, did you send an email in?
No, I thought about it.
Noah's pretty into Spider-Man.
He loves Spider-Man prop. Is this something you would do? I
would do it. I mean, I got girls, and they're not. If Adam Driver was doing this, then my 14-year-old would lose their mind. You know what I'm saying?
Who would be your celeb if you, and it was just, you weren't going to be able to interact. You weren't going to be able to write back. It was just like a 15-20 second encouraging note from a fictional character that you knew in your heart wasn't that actual character. It was just the actor. What would you use?
Oh my God, Ricky Bobby. There's no hands down. I want a call from Ricky Bobby.
That's you could get him to pray for you.
Oh man, are you kidding me? Are you kidding? If Ricky Bobby left a voicemail saying he's praying to dear Lord baby Jesus about my home being quarantined and that my kids would grow up to be as strong and powerful as Walker and Texas Ranger. Are you kidding me? Oh my gosh. I'd figure out how to print the audio. And frame it.
I think I would take Charlie from Always Sunny. He's just a high energy guy, and I appreciate that.
That's true.
Sometimes
that's good. You could probably sell these,
Yeah,
you
exactly.
could give these away.
Cameo.
Yeah, exactly.
Cameo, which I've been contemplating getting on. I just feel like
you should do it.
I would. I would use. I have your phone number, and I would still pay you to get a little message.
Let me ask you this, because let's say you're considering the Cameo thing, right? Where's the line? Because we played a clip on this pod a while ago where they had the dude from Sugar Ray. What's his Mark McGrath? Yeah. He's on Cameo, and somebody paid some woman out there. Her boyfriend was a big Sugar Ray fan. That should tell you enough about the relationship. It was doomed. It was doomed from that point. Yeah, huge red flag. Big Sugar Ray guy. Probably owns some fedoras. She. Sorry, that was mean. I don't know why. I'm
below the belt there.
Leave it in.
It was. I don't care. I don't care.
Keep it. Yes.
I don't want. What's Mark McGrath gonna do? No, but in the video, real talk, Mark McGrath seemed like a legit dude. He seemed like a super nice guy. But this girl paid Mark McGrath to do a Cameo video. For people who don't know, Cameo is a service where celebrities and actors and performers and athletes, you can pay them a fee for them to send you custom video messages. So anyway, this girl paid Mark McGrath to call her boyfriend or to leave a leave a video message of Mark McGrath breaking up with the boy.
Oh my God.
For the girl.
It was unbelievable.
So my question for you, Prop, is where's the line? Would you break up with somebody? Would you give them like medical news? Would you announce like a pregnancy? Where's your line for if people hit you up on Cameo?
The line has a ratio with how much you pay me. Because
sure.
Because
the line is flexible.
Yeah, the line is flexible because I'm still on the fence about joining in the first place. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know I have friends on there who are, doing very well with it. And the people, it's a social contract. People like are willing, they love it. You know what I'm saying? They feel like it's worth their money. You know what I'm saying? But part of me is like, I don't know, man. I think once I feel like if I hop that fence, the sky's the limits. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because I've already done the conflicting work to even join it in the first place. But if somebody was like, hey, I need you to call this fool and tell him or her how much I can't stand him. I feel like I would work on my tone, but I would be like, hey, look, dude, here's the thing, man. Becky can't stand you because, like, listen, please don't kill the messenger. She paid me to do this. I would even tell her she paid me to do this. Maybe y'all should talk, or maybe don't talk because Becky can't stand you, homie. Now, here's a promo code to my website. You can get something free, dog. Because
sweeten the deal. Give them
good man. I'm sorry, homie, but it's done. But in the meantime, here's a free cup.
But you would maybe break up a situation on my, like, I call you, I'm too scared and nervous to break up with my girlfriend on. Yeah. So I say, she's a huge fan. She's not going to like this, but she'll like it a little more coming from you. Which I don't think is true. I don't think, no matter how much I like somebody, I would still feel like
it would stay.
What's your
problem?
problem?
Tyler's a coward.
Exactly.
This is probably better for you. I know it doesn't seem like it, but I swear to you, for someone to pay me to break up with you means you didn't want to be with this guy. In the meantime, go to prophiphop.com. Here's a free t-shirt.
Get you something nice.
This feels like an audition for Cameo, and so far, as far as I'm concerned, you're really passing. That was
$700. That was $700.
Yeah, that was $700. I would have paid $700 for that easy if I had it.
What am I doing?
If I had it, I think you got to go for it. Number 3 this week. Oh man, Elon Musk says he will make ventilators if there is a shortage because of coronavirus. Okay.
Well, there is a shortage. So.
Yeah, there
is one.
There's some stuff to unpack here. I got some thoughts.
Let's get the details. So one of the major concerns about the coronavirus outbreak is that if enough people become infected with COVID-19, which affects the respiratory system, hospitals will run out of ventilators. This could mean doctors would have to choose who lives and who dies if 2 patients need the same machine. However, Elon Musk recently said on Twitter that he will be willing to make more if there is a shortage. He explained on Twitter, quote, Tesla makes cars with sophisticated HVAC systems. SpaceX makes spacecraft with life support systems. Ventilators are not difficult, but cannot be produced instantly. He's right that his companies SpaceX and Tesla make highly sophisticated machines, but there is also some reason for skepticism. It was only 2 weeks ago that Musk tweeted, "The coronavirus panic is dumb," long after experts had sounded the alarm about an impending crisis. There's also the infamous Thai cave rescue debacle of 2018, after a rescue diver in charge of freeing children who had accidentally gotten stuck in a dangerous underwater cave called Musk's plan to invent a submarine to do the job impractical. Musk got sued for calling him a pedo guy. In the lawsuit case, which Musk ended up winning, the eccentric inventor was called a, quote, thin-skinned billionaire who is obsessed with his public image and who has a history of vindictively and intentionally ignoring truth to maintain that PR-created image.
Oh my God.
All this in addition to the fact that Musk once promised to help fix the water situation in Flint, Michigan for, quote, any house in Flint that has water contamination above FDA levels. That turned out to be an exaggeration, although Musk did eventually donate $500,000 to Flint community schools. And there's also the fact that intentionally there already is a shortage in ventilators as coronavirus cases continue to grow. The fact that Musk is asking Nate Silver where the ventilator shortages are isn't a great sign. I feel like the write-up there kind of says a lot of what we need to say.
But my question, because, like, listen, if Elon Musk, who's a billionaire and has lots of resources, wants to start cranking out ventilators, obviously that would be an incredible thing. I think you should do it. But Elon Musk, as you pointed out, Tyler, has a history of kind of making these statements, and I can't figure that dude out. Did you guys? And a lot of people I've seen him now. Did you guys watch when he did his infamous Joe Rogan interview?
Thing,
oh yeah,
where he was just stoned the whole time, and
he's well. It wasn't. I don't know. His whole persona where he acts like a robot or like an alien that's posing as a billionaire. Do you guys, what do you think it would be like to hang out with Elon Musk for one night? Do you think it'd be the weirdest night of your life, or you think he's like a normal cat when he's not like on camera?
No, I think there's a clear threshold when you hit a certain dollar amount.
Yeah,
you just
that's what I think.
It just bakes
turns
you
off.
Something
you
turns
turn
off.
into like a Bond villain.
Yeah, you're just not with the rest of us, because I think that there's a few. I mean, I have a lot of thoughts on this. I just think one of them is like the part of you that doesn't believe anyone actually understands you because you just exist in this other sphere of things. The part of you that's like legit lonely because you're terrified that no one actually really likes you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then you're paying for access. Like, I've had friends who've gotten like, hey, can you come perform for me and my kids? I'll pay you $500,000 just to perform at my house. And you get there and they're not really performing. It's just, we just want you to hang out. And it's just like, it's so just these like, I just think something, your brain turns off when you hit a certain dollar amount and you just, I don't know.
Not only that, we've all watched those like movies where there's like a super villain, right? And the super villain wears like a weird uniform. Like it was parodied famously, like with Dr. Evil in Austin Powers. But this is what happens to these cats, man. Mm-hmm. Like Steve Jobs wore the same thing every day. Like Jeff Bezos has a uniform now, which is basically like a fleece sweater and a tight t-shirt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, Elon Musk is like, the black t-shirts. It's like if Elon Musk just started walking around in that silver Dr. Evil onesie, I don't think anyone would think it's weird. I would just be like, that's just the natural evolution of these guys.
And I think that he has I don't think he's lying. I think he actively wants people to, he sees these needs and he's like, I could meet that need. And he just spouts it off. But then the actual logistics of...
Wait, Tyler, you're telling me that someone with a position of extreme power would go in front of the American people regularly and say facts that he wants to be true, even though they aren't true. You're telling me that can happen? I don't believe you. I've never witnessed such a thing. Especially, I felt like I would see it on a daily basis during news briefings. That just doesn't happen, Tyler.
Where actual lives are in danger? Nah.
It's because you don't want to like discourage somebody who's at least saying they want to try to help and has in some cases, I think, done some things that are helpful. Like I want there to be electric cars to reduce the environmental. And I'm glad that sort of exists for people in a certain tax bracket right now, thanks to Elon Musk. Yeah. But this thing where he just jumps in without thinking about any of the actual factors or having any idea of what the reality is, and says, I'm here to fix it. He sees himself as being this superhero, but it comes across way more like, what's the name of the bad guy in The Incredibles? That person, remember that movie? He gives me that vibe a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think of his name right now.
Listen, I hope he goes through with it. And I don't want to disparage. I don't want to disparage
because it's really like in his defense, like, I mean, it's probably not hard. Thing. Yeah, and it's probably not hard. It would take a while.
Space. Yeah, it's probably not hard.
Yeah, if you're just like,
if you're like, I put an electric car in space. I think I can make a ventilator. You're right. You could probably make 20 of them, but you know what I'm saying? But the truth is, it would take a while. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But I bet you in spare parts, if he wasn't trying to make the Tesla of ventilators, you know what I'm saying? Where they have to look like Tron, you know what I'm feel me? But if he was just like, no, I'm just going to make, this just needs to function. Like if his brain could click into like, oh, this is just functional. It doesn't have to be sexy. I don't have to make the Michael Bay version. You know what I'm saying?
That's true. That's true. Yeah. I'm worried that he would spend too much time on the color scheme and not just getting it out there.
Just make the ventilator, bro. Just make the
That's
ventilator.
the thing, dude. I've seen him land a rocket vertically. I've seen a rocket shoot in reverse from outer space and land as softly as it can, perfectly upright in a field. Elon Musk can absolutely make a bunch of ventilators if he can do that. And I hope he does. He said he publicly will. And, but it is, I hope it's not just bluster.
Yeah.
So, but Tyler, speaking of someone who isn't just, doesn't have a history of bluster, this is a good one.
Positive story. Okay. Number 2, Taylor Swift is just straight up giving away thousands of dollars to out of work fans. So the COVID-19 pandemic has sent the economy reeling, and along with it, the job market. On Thursday, it was announced that 3.3 million Americans filed for unemployment benefits last week. That shatters the previous record of 685,000. Shatters the previous record. In the U.S., joblessness also often means a lack of health insurance, which is obviously less than ideal during a global health crisis. In light of that, Taylor Swift has reportedly been reaching out to fans who've been posting about being out of work and sending them thousands of dollars. A few fans posted the private messages they got from Swift, most of them understandably hyperventilating with joy and relief. Swift reached out to a fan who posted about not being able to afford living in New York City after her work dried up following the outbreak. Swift wrote, quote, "You've always been there for me. I want to be there for you right now." Another fan named India Rose watched her freelance work disappear and wrote on Tumblr that she didn't know how she was going to afford to make rent. Later that day, Swift jumped into her DMs and asked her for her PayPal to send her $3,000. She wrote, "I'm so sorry things are tough right now. I'd like to gift you $3,000 to help ease that strain." And there are a few other stories like that as well.
Sheesh.
And that is I think what I like about this is I think that we sometimes, people who are more financially secure, forget that people just need money. Sometimes they don't need they don't need lunch. They don't need diapers. I mean, they obviously do need these things too, but people need just straight up money. And I know there's like a fear that a lot of us don't want to give them a handout, but they need money right now. They don't need it next week. They don't need it on at the end of April. They need money immediately. And so that somebody has that kind of money is offering to connect people who need money with just actual cash dollars is instead of a gift card. I think that matters. I think that means something.
I also don't understand why handout is such a cuss word.
Yeah.
Why is it okay? What's wrong with giving somebody some money and trusting them to do what they should do? I don't understand why that's that's so bad.
Considered such a bad thing.
Yeah.
Well, it's like, I can't remember what commentator was responsible for this cell phone, and everyone sort of made the same observation. Tyler, I think you tweeted something about it, but there was it was some other story sort of like this. And some, commentator was like, I think it was like a Christian. I think, and they were just giving away money for something. And there was some commentator that was like, if the real Christ-like thing to do, it would be to teach a man to fish so that they can, and it's like, oh, I remember that Bible story where Jesus taught the 5,000 to fish. I remember that one.
Totally.
What a parable. What a parable that shows Christ likes. My favorite story that demonstrates the character and methodology of Jesus teaching the 5,000. It's like, no, Jesus gave you away handouts all the time. That was the whole idea, man.
Or I'd even push back at that guy and being like, okay, if you want to play that game, I would say the most Christ-like thing is to give them ownership of the lake.
Yeah. Let people
So how about that? You ready to hand over the deed?
Yeah.
To the lake?
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, then shut your mouth.
It's true. It's like, handouts are part of our faith. Like,
I don't understand.
The central construct of most people's belief system, of most Orthodox Christian theology, is that grace is unmerited, that it's undeserved, that we all get a handout. It's called salvation,
homie. Yeah,
Christianity is a handout.
Yes,
it is literally saying you get salvation from the sin and pain of this world. You get restoration with God for free, and there's nothing you can do to earn it. Like, that's the whole contract of Christianity,
Yeah. And what if God was like, "Oh, I don't want to give them grace because they're just gonna sin again." Why would I give them a gift when they're just gonna?
Well, one, he'd be right,
Yeah.
and two, that's not the way of
But it's the mentality
Jesus,
we carry. It's he's gonna spend my dollar on cocaine. Like
you have power over somebody. Yeah, at the end of the day, it's like, if I give you money, I have power over you. Mm-hmm. So I get to say what you do with this because money means power, which is like, how are you calling that a Christian principle? Like what?
Surrendering power. And that's what, like, Taylor Swift doesn't know where this $3,000 is going to go. She doesn't even know if these people are lying about being out of money. Yeah. And it doesn't matter. Like, who cares? People need money.
Freely give.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think it's super cool. And I've seen other stories. I saw after this slice came up, I saw Ariana Grande is doing the same thing. There have been other stories of people throwing money. But I think it's cool.
The downside of having a blue check.
Yeah,
on your gram. It's like, Taylor ain't finna DM me. It's like, you're verified. You're fine. I'm like, no, my tour got canceled versus your tour getting canceled is different situation. Yeah.
There's a writer like Shay Serrano. He covers a lot of NBA stuff, but Shay's given away, I think, upward of like $20,000. Like, just on a day-to-day basis, he'll jump on Twitter and be like, all right, who's hurting? Bartenders today, waitresses today, who needs some cash, and floating them, a few $100. So Shay Serrano's great too.
It's cool.
So,
Cool. Good follow. Number one this week, Francis Chan explained, it kind of ties into this, like right now is a huge opportunity for the church. As we've been reporting, Francis Chan is relocated to Hong Kong to be a missionary, but in the last few weeks, COVID-19 has changed life around the world, and now Chan has a message from his new home. This is an opportunity to share God's love with others. In a new YouTube video, Chan talks about his son's concern for people around the world who are suffering from the virus, and how much it challenged him to look outward during the crisis. As he explains, the church is in a moment of opportunity to share God's love, to serve others, and to spread joy. It's an inspiring message during an uncertain time. Here is a clip of that.
My prayer for you guys, number one, is that you stay loving, that you, during this time, that you really be thinking, God, I love you. What do you want me to do out of love for you? And to be looking at the others around you in love and going, God, how can I serve these people? Because this is one of the greatest opportunities we've ever had as a church, where people are open to talking about serious things, life and death things, and suddenly we're no longer in control. So man, I understand it is crazy, but don't lose your love.
Dude, I love Francis Chan, and I love this message. I love the idea that, what the world rightly sees as a crisis, because it is a crisis. But any crisis is an opportunity if you follow Christ, right? I mean, that's the whole.
You ready to preach? Look at you.
Here we go.
That's
Here we
great.
go.
That's
Here we
great.
go. 1 minute I can talk about an experimental 3-man boxing match against a guy who was eating a burrito and drinking a 40 at a Moose Lodge. The next minute, I'm going to jump right in to a little sermon. No, but
With the great puns.
That is what Christianity is, right? I mean, it's Jesus injecting himself into a crisis and finding a solution for it. And this is a crisis, and we are supposed to be the hands and feet of Christ. The church is the body of Christ, right? This is an opportunity. We should find ways to help those in need and to preach, hopefully give people some hope and encouragement. I appreciate Francis Chan a lot and his kind of perspective on this pandemic.
Yeah, and it's what we were talking about with you at the beginning, Prop, is learning how to, you hate to say opportunity in a way that makes it sound opportunistic, right? This is not this is a crisis for all of us. And I think Francis walks this line really well in his message, because what we're not saying is this is ultimately a good thing, because it's not. It's ultimately a bad thing, but we need to make sure that we are good things in the midst of this bad thing. And everybody's got a part to play, and the opportunity for us to do that really well is certainly there. And we've been trying to report on the cool stories happening during this, and some of the, raise the alarm about some of the distressing ones as well. And we'll keep trying to do that as long as we're under quarantine. We have nothing else to do. Yeah. So we're reporting more than ever.
Yeah.
All right, that'll wrap it up for this week's.
It's the hot list, the hot list. It's sizzling.
When we come back, David Kinnaman joins us. You're listening to Resurrections by Lena Rain. All right, so David Kinnaman is the author of the best-selling books Faith for Exiles, Good Faith, You Lost Me, and Unchristian. He is president of the Barna Group, a leading research and communications company that works with churches, nonprofits, and businesses ranging from film studios to financial services. I recently spoke with David just about how this pandemic is affecting churches from his vantage point, what he's seeing happen with churches right now that aren't allowed to meet or aren't supposed to be meeting at this time, and what that's going to mean for the future of the church here in America. When I started just asking this question to myself, obviously, David was the first person to came to mind as someone who might have some sort of information based on his years of expertise in studying this sort of thing, and just understanding how equipped churches are to weather something like this. He did caution me immediately, and I'll let him explain it to you all here in a second, that we are all in unprecedented times, and a lot of what we're talking about here is going to involve some level of hypothesis and guesswork. Obviously, we just don't know. In fact, what he called this a lot is sort of an experiment for churches to see what's going to happen here, and they're going to have to try to pivot and try a lot of new things and see what works for their specific communities and congregations. Here's him explaining that.
I think on a longer horizon, it's a little hard to using social research to predict things. Clearly there's going to be some fundamental changes to the way Americans think about the church gathered and the church scattered, and kind of ecclesiology of Americans' belief system is I think going to be, an interesting sort of real-time experiment. And so, I think that's going to be an interesting, reality.
Obviously, calling it an interesting reality is sort of a understatement. That's his. That's his job. He's very clinical. He's just the facts, and that's where we're at right now. But it's true that the longer this goes on, the more churches are going to have to try things, and churches that, especially ones that aren't already equipped with some sort of visual virtual setup, are going to want to try to figure out how to do that. And that's going to be more challenging for some churches, especially smaller ones, especially rural ones, than it is for others who are already set up with something like Church Home or Hillsong.
But that's one of the reasons why his insights and insight from Barna is so valuable, because he kind of brings to the table, that objectivity when it comes to looking. And I think once we get on the other side of this, it'll be groups like Barna and people like David Kinnaman that we can really turn to see what was effective, what wasn't, what are some strategies that churches were forced to adopt during this time that they can use from now on just to more effectively reach people.
Yeah, exactly. And I know this isn't necessarily, we have a church leadership podcast. It's called, and people should check it out. So we don't want to make this too inside baseball or anything here. But if you are interested, David does have, it's called churchpulseweekly.com. You can go there to connect with other pastors. You can fill out your own, sort of help keep the Barna Group sort of abreast of how you're doing and how your church community is doing in your view. I think that'd be very helpful both for Barna in terms of getting some of the stats figured out here, and just for you to see how other communities are doing. They had, when I talked to David, they had just sort of wrapped their first survey about how churches are dealing with this. So there's not a ton of info, but they did have some. Here's him talking about a few things, especially what's going to be, this isn't boring stuff. This is important stuff. Money. Well, what's money going to look like for churches in the coming year? And he had some insights into that.
Well, we just finished up a kind of a first week look at some of the differences, some of the challenges that local church leaders are telling us that they're facing. And so we're looking at, obviously financial challenges. Only 2% of churches said their giving increased, whereas the majority of them said there was a decrease. So I think just a financial hit is going to be among the first, I don't know if it's not primary, but it's certainly going to be one of the first challenges that churches are going to face. And that's going to make things like staffing and things like program and things like community service and things like even the viability of some of those churches are going to be hard hit. I think smaller churches are going to struggle more than mid and large size churches. They won't have the kind of structure to sustain through a more prolonged period of financial disruption.
So
it's definitely a scary time.
It's a scary time. We're all thinking in terms of money, right? We're all thinking a little bit about having to cinch the belts right now. And that's where a lot of us are going to come in. You heard him say, I was surprised it was this high, actually, that he saw a 3%. There was a 3% of churches that said there was an increase in tithes.
Wow.
Since this is God. That's not a huge percentage point, but it is. I'm glad that people are, even right now, there's people who are trying to dig deep because they know that their pastors and their churches are going to need them. That's stuff that goes to people's salary, to pastors and church leaders' salaries, and that's going to be important too. Not available to everybody right now. Obviously, we're all a little strapped, but I hope that people who can give are, and if you can't, obviously that's not your fault at all. These are just difficult times. David introduced me to this interesting term I hadn't heard before, that he called worship shifting. It's something that Barna's been looking at for a while, the shift to digital spaces for church. Now, a few months ago, when Church Home launched and that sort of put the idea of virtual church into the spotlight, there was a lot of skepticism, even from people, I think we at Relevant were a little skeptical about what this is going to mean. And is meeting online really a replacement for church? Those questions got outdated pretty quickly because now it's the only kind of church that's available to most of us, which has very quickly changed what church looks like for all of us in America. The question is this going to last? Like, is the new virtual reality of going to church going to outlast the pandemic? Are we seeing a major shift that we're not really going to come back from? And here were David's thoughts. And he stressed, and I'll stress too, these are just his thoughts because we don't know the answer right now.
We call it worship shifting, where, like time shifting with streaming services and DVRs. We found that, not surprisingly, millennials are the segment of churchgoers who are the most likely to replace or to use other kinds of media, which is a broad sweep of television, radio, and other things, podcasting. But 52% of millennials say they often, or about half the time, use these other resources instead of attending a church. And I think that, Gen Xers, it's only 24%. Among boomers, it's only 11%. And so, I think we'll have a real-time experiment on the necessity of using the digital worship shifting, digital worship replacement tools. And I think that's also going to, really, at least in the short run, I mean, we're already seeing some indication that, people miss their gatherings, and there's a sense of like, when we're back together, we're going to sing, as though this is our sort of sing as one with a great, a great voice. And so I think there's this real sense of it will also enrich and remind people of why we need, physical, to be in a physical place with others as well.
I do think it's been interesting to see, and this is only anecdotal on my part, that I've felt and I've seen a lot of people express that they're excited to go back, that, you want to you miss people, you want to go back and be with those people again. You don't really, I think we're all going to be, think we're all going to be a little fed up with the digital experience at the end of this, and we'll look forward to meeting again, whether we're going out to eat or going back to church.
Yeah, and Tyler, it's funny, you and I were talking, in a sort of unrelated conversation earlier today about how we're looking forward to things like big sporting events, or like watching SNL in front of a live studio audience again, and that kind of community experience, because I think naturally people crave community. They crave being around other people in that shared experience. And there's no better example of that than worship on Sunday mornings.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I think that was really helpful. And the work that Barna is doing is great for keeping perspective on what's going on right now, and hopefully for helping a few churches weather some of what's coming. Do appreciate David taking time to talk to all of us, and always appreciate the work that Barna does out there. We're grateful for their help, and what they're doing is really important. That was David Kinnaman. Up next, Prop is going to give us his quarantine recommendation. The prop picks.
I never liked oranges
You're listening to Tangerine by Carpet Burn. All right, while we're in self-quarantine, we've been trying to offer up some of our best recommendations for streaming, for TV shows that we've been enjoying, movies that we've been enjoying that are out there, that are easy to access. Props, since we got you here this week, I wanted to hear what you've been watching. What are you? I think I know what it's going to be.
Give us some prop picks.
Give me
the,
like the.
Is it the one everyone's talking about?
Oh, of course it is.
Yeah. Give us your read on Tiger King.
It's Tiger King because it is the most brainless train wreck that this is what you need in a time that's so serious. You need something for at least me and my wife sat down and watched 2 episodes. And for those 2 episodes, we forgot we were in a quarantine. We looked at each other and was like, dude, I totally forgot. Like we're in a pandemic right now. Like,
hey,
what was you going to say?
I was going to say, for people that don't know, it's an impossible show to give a synopsis, but just to paint a small picture.
Yes. So it's in the boonies of Oklahoma. There is a polygamist, gay, mullet, gun shooting, big cat owner, like side of the road sideshow zoo owner. Right. Okay. And he's got tigers and lions. It's just like, and he raises them and he has a zoo of it. And he's in this Hatchfield and McCoy beef with this lady who's doing the same thing in Florida. And they both trying to take each other out. And it's just about this look into this world of these people that are into owning big cats. But what I find so entertaining is that backwoods Texas, Oklahoma mullet gun shooting, because I don't get it. I'm like, I don't understand y'all. So this is so entertaining to me. There's nothing more entertaining to me than that world of white people.
Because there's just no empathy, like not you're not an empathetic person.
I don't understand this at all. I have no, you know what I'm saying? Mayonnaise sandwich eating mullet. Like I don't get it. So it's so entertaining to me. I'm like, I don't understand what is happening. This kid, you're Martians to me. So I'm like, I want to take it. Like, I want to, when I remember when Swamp People was on, I was like, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen. Cause I'm like, I don't understand this in any way. I don't understand this at all. So I find it so entertaining and educational. So for me, this is a bullseye. I need something that has nothing to do with what we're going through and that I don't understand at all. I'm like, this is the most entertaining thing. This is bizarre at a level. And then as the more you get into it, before it becomes like this circus clown that you're watching, then you actually start being like, oh crap, like this is getting dark, man. I really feel for this guy. And then towards the end, you're like, oh, I really do. Actually, I do understand this guy. We're all just humans.
Perfect. It's a perfect arc.
We're all just humans. Some of us own illegal tigers. That's all. That's all. We're just people, man.
Some of us sell drugs and got illegal cars in the back. Some of us got chop shops. Some of us got tigers.
If it helps at all, as somebody, I live in the South, white guy who lives in the South, has spent most of his life in the South. I don't understand. I would starve and die if you airdrop me into the middle of that part of Oklahoma. I would be unable to function. It might be the backwoods of Egypt.
Yes. I don't know. I find myself very comfortable around people who own exotic animals. I don't know why. I just always have. I just am very, very comfortable. I think we understand them. Well, Prop, thanks, man. Any other recommendations?
Man, really, like that's where I'm at right now. Is legit at that one. Yes.
Origami Fridays and Tiger King. You heard it. That's the prop picks. The prop picks.
Okay. Well, I think we better wrap it up. Hey, many thanks to David Kinnaman for taking time to talk to us. You can and should follow him at David Kinnaman. That's Kinnaman is KINNAMAN at David Kinnaman. Also, hey, make sure you check out our church leadership podcast called. You can download that wherever you get your podcasts. And hey, many thanks to our friend Propaganda. Always love having Prop on. You can follow him at Prop Hip Hop and check out all his music wherever you get your tunes. And while you're on our Apple Podcast page, make sure you subscribe to Relevant Daily. where we bring you the top 3 stories at the intersection of faith and culture Monday through Friday, 10 minutes a spot. Would love to see you over there as well. And with that, I think we'll wrap it up. I'm Tyler Huckabee.
I'm Chandler String.
I'm Jesse Carey.
This is Propaganda.
Thanks, everybody. Have a great weekend.
Thank you for listening to the Relevant Podcast. If you like what you heard, be sure to leave us a review on iTunes. Check out other shows from the Relevant Podcast Network in the podcast section at relevantmagazine.com. And while you're there, browse exclusive podcast merchandise at our online store. Make sure to subscribe to Relevant Magazine. Info is available at relevantmagazine.com/subscribe.
You can't just go and like walk down the aisle and right up on somebody.
Relevant Podcast Network.
Time is precious, and so are our pets. So time with our pets is extra precious. That's why we started Dutch. Dutch provides 24/7 access to licensed vets with unlimited virtual visits and follow-ups for up to 5 pets. You can message a vet at any time and schedule a video visit the same day. Our vets can even prescribe medication for many ailments, and shipping is always free. With Dutch, you'll get more time with your pets and year-round peace of mind when it comes to their vet care. Go to Dutch.com to get vet care that is always there for just $92 a year.